Good morning and welcome. Today is Tuesday, December 9th, and we are doing the 52 weeks of scrapbooking still. We are on week 49, only 3 more to go after today. Oh, put that in front of my face. So let's take a look at my desk and see what's going to happen today. So if you have the book, it's Project Recipe 49 is using the Sweet on You collection. If you don't, and you're going to my website, my Facebook group, Scrapbook with Denise, it is Little Dreamer. We're going to use a lot of different tools today. You are going to need a punch, the cloud punch, and I am going to use the cloud punch. You're going to need shape from the custom cutting system. This one has the hearts. I'm going to try using the star on this one. We're going to do some inking. I did get some of my blues in, so I've got 3 here. I want to try some inking of the clouds. We're going to try that, and I actually have some titles also that maybe we can try to ink. Now, I'm not an inking specialist, so we'll talk about that when we get to there. And then that's kind of what we're going to work on today. So lots of different tools. So first thing we do is make sure the cutting guides are the same. So if there's anything to change, we can do that, but these look to be the same. Now I'm going to use Little Dreamer, but the Little Dreamer that I have, I must have got in some kind of special bundle, because this is the Little Dreamer from Japan. So it's a little bit different. There's only 6 sheets of double-sided paper and then 5 double-sided mats. So because there's a lot of 4x6s here and a 4x12, I was thinking I'm going to try to use the mat. So this is my thought, and let's see if it's going to work. So these are my 2 base pages. So I do have a blue and a yellow. So you can see here in Little Dreamer, kind of the same color palette. So I'm going to use those for my base pages. I'm going to put them away because I'm going to be doing a lot of things before we get there. I'll move these up so they're in frame. Okay, there we go. Lots going on today. So then you need a sheet of white cardstock. Okay, that's not a problem. I got white cardstock. Then you need 2 designer papers. So if we look at these, the blue here, which is IJK, is going to be this 4x12, 2 4x6s, 2 of the shapes, which I'm going to do stars, and they're using the reverse, and then 2 other mats, all come from that one sheet. I was thinking of just using this blue, because again, we're going to do clouds with inking. Let's see, using this blue, and then possibly using some of these other mats for the G and H, and then J, you know, I could cut one of these down to 4x4. So that's my thought. The 2 shapes, may not use this sheet. I may use it from here. We're kind of going to see when we get there, but I also have the yellow that I'm going to use for these other 3 mats. And again, it'll be easy because I can just cut them. I can use either the plain side or I can use one of the patterns, and I'll be able to keep some of those. So we're going to see how we're going to cut that once we get there. Let's start with our punching, and there's going to be a lot of punching and of this white cardstock and a lot of different punching. So let's get ready for that before we start cutting. Okay, so I have my border maker with my cloud punch. We're going to need to have our trimmer still. So for A, what we're going to do is we're going to cut at 4 inches. And normally I would cut everything and then punch at the end, but I think we should do A and B. So we're going to cut at 4 inches for A, and then 3.5 inches for B, and then we're going to leave C, D, E, and F, and then we cut that as we go along. So A is our 4-inch piece, and what we're going to do is cut along the long edges. So we're going to cut along both long edges. And we're going to do lots of punching today. Oops, I moved that. Okay, so and then we'll do some inking at the end once we have everything cut. Then we'll kind of go to inking. So I figured, why not try? We're doing clouds, and I've got all the new blues. And if you didn't get them, I've heard that they're supposed to be back in the product line in the new year. Okay, so the 4-inch piece, we cut both sides. Okay, so let's put that aside for now. Now the 3.5-inch piece, we're gonna punch the top and the bottom, the short sides. So we're gonna put that in. And you're just gonna have 2 punches. So if you're using a different punch, you do want to use an edge style punch. So once you see this, we'll think about what other edge style punch we could use. I mean, they use the heart in here in the book. They are using, and I don't have this punch. The scalloped hearts is what they used here because it stays attached. It is an edge style punch. Okay, so that is good. Now what we need to do, oh sorry, let's get that put aside. What we need to do for C, D, E, and F, you're going to need some post-it notes also. So get yourself some post-it notes. I want to save these ones. You're going to need those. Okay, so what it says here in this tip, cut along both edges of the entire 4.5 by 12-inch strip. Okay, so let's do that first. So we're going to punch on both long edges. So we'll do that again. I'll clean that up. And then we will rotate it. Let me just put, you know, I don't like the glare. There we go. But I need the light. Now we're going to do this side. Okay, so let's go to our instructions again. So we've done that. Then cut this piece in half so you end up with 2 strips approximately 2 inches each. So let's see how big this is. Yeah, it's 4 inches. So let's cut this at 2. We don't have to be precise because we're going to be cutting this down again, making others. So we have that done now. Now we have 2 strips that are 2-ish inches each. Now punch the other side of the strips with the cloud cartridge. And this is where it says tip, apply sticky notes along the side you're not cutting. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this long enough. And the reason why, if you haven't done this before, if we put this in here, it's not going to hold, right? It's going to fall out. It doesn't stick. So what we're going to do is make this longer. We don't have to, because then I can reuse them if I don't cut them. So we're going to make this paper longer. You don't have to line them quite up if you don't want to. Doesn't matter because we're cutting, of course, the edge that's not cut. All we're doing is making this paper longer. You might get away with using 2, but just use 3. Then we're going to line it up. And you can see now it's going to stay in the holder. So have to watch when you're punching this that it doesn't come unattached. I'm getting stuck on that piece. Okay, so we have that piece. Now we'll do the next one. So I'm going to take off my sticky notes. So we have this piece. We still have more to do, so let's just put that to the side. Let's do that again. So we are going to put the post-it notes on the already cut side. Let me make it a little straighter. And let's cut this one. Just make sure your feet are all the way in when you punch. Okay, we are done with that punch. Let's go back and see what the tip is. Then cut each strip in half lengthwise. So we're going to have 4 borders. So let's bring back our trimmer. And this is, I guess it's about 1 3/4. So what we're going to do is, it's a little bit less than an inch. And again, they don't have to be exactly, I'm just lining it up. Probably looks like 1/4 of an inch on each side. Just be as straight as you can. Now I'm looking that I'm about the same. Oh, and I just moved it. And looks about right. Holding it down. So then I have 2 pieces, and we're going to do that same thing again. So it's 2 little ticks less than, and that's from the biggest cloud. Just try to get it as straight as you can. See, look at me. You can also put some repo down to kind of hold it in place. Otherwise, I'm kind of holding it. I'm going from the middle up and down so I don't move it. Okay, so those are our 4. Then what we're going to do is look, because C and D are going to stay as 12 inches. So we'll put C and D. E and F. So it says here, cut down F to 6 inches long. Cut this one to 6. And cut E into 2 that are 3.5. So put those ones, 2 that are 3.5. And my punch kind of left a little bit, 3.5. And that's 1 and 2. So we have 2 of those left. Probably going to have some leftovers there. Okay, we've got all that. Now we can go and cut our others down. So from our designer paper 2, which is the blue paper it shows here, I'm actually going to use the blue. So I need to make sure that when I'm cutting my 4-inch strips, I'm not cutting it this way. So I am going to just cut this into 4-inch strips. I'm actually going to cut it all apart into 4 inches. So now let's use this one for now. So I just cut I. So now I'm going to need 2 mats. And right now I'm thinking I'm using these ones. So I'm just going to cut them in half at 6 inches. And we'll see, I may change my mind and I may decide to use this one and use this as mine. So I have a lot of options of what I'm going to do. So those are my 2 4x6s. I need a 4x4. This might make me change my mind right now. And I'm going to leave my stars right now. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to cut this one as a 4x6, and this one of these will eventually be cut down to a 4x4. One of these, don't know which one yet. So we'll just put those aside as my 3 mats, G, H, and J. Just one needs cutting down. Put that in the pile. Then out of our other tone on tone, we need 3 mats, 2 that are 6x4 again. So again, I am going to cut this all into my mats. And again, if you just have mats, if the paper you're using has mat pack, you can use mats for that and not even have to use your designer paper. So you do what works for the package that you are using, the bundle you're using. So we're going to need 2 4x6s and a 4x4. So again, I'm just going to cut this all down, and when we go to put our page together, we'll decide. So I'm going to cut these all down, and then one later we'll cut down to 4x4. two, and this one. And I will still be able to cut my shapes out of this one. Okay. So let me get my base pages and let's just put these down. I know we still do need to cut our shape. Okay, so I just have my papers laid out. This is where this is piece J. It's going to go along there. My two base pages. What is going to go on top of that is piece B. It's going to go on top, which is why I figured I would leave it blue. And then on the left-hand side, we are going to have piece A, which is this big one that we did on both sides. I'll come down a little bit. Then we're going to use our piece C and D. Just take the book out. So C and D are going to go at the top, on top of that. And this is why I was thinking that, you know, we may want to, and you know, because it's white, you can offset them. So go alternating, and you probably can't see it, which is why we're going to do some inking. So see, so I have it offset, right? And you could actually put some up on foam squares too if you wanted to. So that is going to be on the left-hand side. And then if we look here, they have a sticker strip, and I found in Totally Tonals these stars. So this is out of the Totally Tonal stars. So I thought this might go really good with it. So I'm going to put that there. So now we have our mats. We have two of G and H. So I was going to possibly use those ones. And this kind of goes up, and this goes over the bottom of those a little bit. Here's where we're going to have a 4x4, and maybe I might even just use this. We'll see. We're not there yet. And then we had a 6-inch one. It's going to go underneath here. And then we have two of the 3.5-inch pieces are going to go here at the top. And then out of our other mats, we had one there. I could go a plain color. The same thing over here is I could just do a plain colored one. But those blues don't. It's the same blue as here, but it's a little bit different than this blue. So I might just do that. Then we have, this one actually goes this way also. This one is going to be a blue one over here, and maybe this is where I'll use the blue to match this blue. And then we need a yellow one up here. So again, if you just have a matte pack, you could just use that. So what I want to do next is I need to figure out which of these mats I want to, oh, this will be one, because I'm not going to use this one. I also thought, you know, if I was thinking of using the hearts, I was actually thinking of cutting the hearts out of this heart. But because I have the stars, I think I'm going to go with the stars. So I think I'm going to use this one to cut some. The other thing I thought is I could actually, you know, cut this star inside of the star is a thought too. Maybe I'll cut this one and do that. See how it looks. I'm going to move this off so I can use my mat. Move this over a bit. And let's use that I just lost under here. Let's do that just to see how that looks. So I'm just going to line it up as best as I can. We're going to use the red blade. It'll cut the closest, and it's pretty much going to be the same size as what the heart would have been. So that's why I picked this one with the red. Make sure my feet are in. And it's not pointed like the star on the paper is. It's a little rounded, but I'm thinking it might be okay. And if I don't like it, we'll use the back side. Just go slow. And then make sure you're detached. Perfect. Okay, so there is one of our stars. And then I wanted a blue one. And that one's all yellow. We got more yellow left. I like this one that says my little star. Maybe I might not do a picture. Maybe I'm just going to do this journaling box. Instead of a 4x4, I'm just going to cut this one in half. It should be 6 inches. Yeah, these ones are 6. I'm going to cut it at 3. And I think I'm just going to use this here instead of a 4x4. Okay, I like that. And then we have either this star or this star. Sorry, I'm off the camera a little bit over there. And now, let me just see if that, oh, this one's going to go on this side. Oh, they both, it doesn't really matter because it was going to be the reverse. So it's what kind of whatever whatever I decide I want to do. And actually, what I might do on this side where we have the 4x4s, except this one's supposed to be blue, don't have a blue star. Let me just check what's on the back of some of these. This is the one I want to see what's on the back of. No, it was a heart. Okay. So you kind of get, the other one is you're going to cut a picture with your whatever template you use from the custom cutting system. And then we will cut one more star, and I think I want to do it out of blue. And because I didn't do a 4x4, I think I'm just going to do, this one we can do a 4x4. I'm going to do this one as a 4x4. Because this one, it was good because we're 4 inches going across. This one, I didn't want to cut it to 3x4 so that it lines up going 4 inches that way. So one more, I want a blue star, so we're going to use this paper. And, sorry, excuse me, a little raspy today. I'll put on the angle so that we can get this all on here. However you fit, make sure your feet are in. Since I'm close, I have to make sure I'm holding on really tight so that it doesn't move. I keep getting stuck on those. Moved it a tiny bit. I like these ones, the rotating ones, the newer ones, not the ones from Oldco, because they actually, you know, they'll rotate. Find them a little easier. Okay, let's put this away so we don't cut ourselves. And get these out, and then we're going to just do some inking. And I don't think I'll do all the inking. I'm just going to do a little bit of the inking. And again, decide if we want, you know, the blue one here, the yellow, maybe opposite. Maybe I'll even change it up to go this way. Again, you can put them wherever you want to put them. Kind of just a basic filling them in. Okay, I think I like that. And in this set also, that Totally Tonal stars, I have all these other stars that I can add to here. There was some more that I could add. So which is kind of why I went with the stars and thought, you know, the clouds and the stars. So kind of nice pastel. It could be for baby, doesn't have to be. But let's do some inking. And like I said, I've watched other people, other advisors do inking. I am just learning. So I do have the craft mat. You'll see some of the advisors use them if you're watching, some don't. It has a sticky part. The one that says Creative Memories, which would normally we would put up, is the sticky part. So that's going to go down. Okay. You don't have to put it on your mat. You can put it on your table. Like I said, some people use it, some don't. Leave it up to you. Let me just put it a little higher. And again, all different kinds of techniques. So we can practice. We have 2 sides, so if we mess up, and I wanted to see which blues. So actually what I want to do is I have some scrap paper that I thought we could just test it on and see the different colors of blue and which ones we like the best. And I was also thinking of using a combination. So I actually have the Summer Sky and the Danube blue that came with the Winter Bliss. And I have the nautical blue, which was in one of the secret box, and I also have all of those. I have some wipes handy. Now, so I can get rid of the glare, I'm just going to move things over and move this over a bit. So I've seen some, and I just make sure I've got these lined up so I use the right brush with the right one. I have seen some advisors, and even Noreen, you'll see she'll put here, or she'll just dab some here and then take her brush and always start off, hold it. This is a recommended way, and then come off the page onto the page. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. This is a pretty dark one. Other ways I've seen advisors do it is, oops, dab here, then dab it off there or on a paper. But again, go off the paper and then onto it in a motion. Now, I need a little bit more. Okay, so that's just the one color blue. And then put it away. Do this. Clean your mat. And I'm just going to use a paper towel right now. Maybe, if I can reach them. And get that one off my desk too. I have some ink on my desk. Okay, good. And I will use my wet one after. Okay, so that's that blue. So let's try this next one, which is the Danube blue. And I don't know, try see which way you like it. I've been trying to get used to doing, but always takes off. And then do this blue. And in the new year, so the Simple Page kits are going to have more inking on them in 2026. It'll already be pre-inked for you, but we're going to have more classes that Brenda's going to do to show us how to ink. So there's that one. What if I kind of mix them? That's what I was seeing, if I should be mixing them. So those are those two colors. Do a little, oops, see what happens when I didn't dab it off? I have this big mark there. So always make sure you dab it off before you put it onto your paper. And let's try the third one, and then before I do my real stuff. This one I found to be really, really light. Like really, really light. And I was wondering if actually my ink was not working, but it comes out. But this, if you see, you can barely see this one. This is why you would have to keep going over and over if you want it to be darker. And maybe this is the blue that I actually want on the page. Okay, so let's just put these away for now. And let's bring back the page to see which color we like. And then I will just do maybe this shorter edge here with the 3.5 inch pieces. So we have that blue, which you may not be able to see. I'm going to take all these off. I just need this piece actually. We have that blue, this one, and this one. And let me see if I can bring them up and see if you can see the differences. There is a difference in the color, and that one I kind of had too dark at the edge. You see the differences? I'm going to try to do it. Maybe what I'll do, I have an idea. Since we have 3, what if we do this? The one that's going to be at the bottom. So this is my top one. And I want them to be opposite. So I'm going to have that one and this. So let's do this one. I'm going to do the lightest color. And this one I do like putting on here. And we're just going to go at the top of the clouds. Now if you don't have the mat, you could have a scrap piece of paper. Just don't do it on your cutting mat or on your desk. Okay, so that's our bottom one. And then the middle one, I'm going to do this color. So that's the bottom one. And I think okay, that's the bottom one. This will be the middle one. And that was pretty close to being the same design. Let's see what I have in my pile here. And I have ink on my fingers. I probably should have done that one, the second one. What about this side? Yeah, see, this is the same. That's fine. We'll just do that for now, and I might change it up after, but not take the time now to do that. So again, figure out which way you like doing it best. And this one will go along here. And then the third one, I will go darker. The darkest one that I have so far. And this last one. And like I said, I'm not going to do them all on camera. Keep supposed to be doing that. Don't know how to hold them yet. It'll come as we do more inking through 2026. And again, if you want to do it, keep making it darker, you can do that. So then when I have on here, I will have these 3 different colors that overlap. And I think I like that. Let me lift it up. I just want to get a different shape. I should have done the other one. So there's my 3 different colors. They look pretty close. You can see it's darker to lighter and a little bit different shade. You may not see it. So that's going to be on, and let me, so I don't get this all over myself. And I will get my wipe. I'm not going to do that now because I'm going to finish inking after I finish recording. I'm just going to move this out of the way and bring this back. So it'll be inked at the top and the bottom. And then it looks, you can actually see the layers, whereas when it was all one color, all the white, like on the left, you can't see that. So I will ink up at the top, at the bottom. I will do these ones, and I'm going to do the same thing. This one down at the bottom, I'm going to see which blue matches this paper the best. It's probably this one. It's going to match that paper the best. And I'll get this page completed, and I'll have it posted on my Scrapbook with Denise Facebook group. So a lot of different things. Oh, one more thing too is, you know, you could ink. I have some of the headings, you know, that I could ink also. I could ink those. The other thing I found was, you know, from the cutter, the embossing and cutting that's coming in the new year, you could use some of those. Right now we have Smile and Happy, excuse me. And so you could use some of those. They are on my desk somewhere, but I had some cut, but right now can't find them. I'll go take a look. I'll be right back. Okay, found them. So, I mean, I have these ones cut out in like a baby blue color. Like I have Happy and Smile. So I could do some more of the die cuts also from here, or I could ink some of these. So lots of different ideas I gave you today. Didn't finish the layout, but we did do some inking. We used some custom cutting system, some of the shapes we don't. We used, you know, a border punch. Used different kinds of papers. Again, save papers, use the mats that you have, and I'd love to see what collection and what custom cutting system you use and what border punch you use. So please post that on my Scrapbook with Denise Facebook group. And thanks for joining me. We only have 3 weeks left, so happy scrapping, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. There it is. It's not totally done, but the inking is done. You can see I have some darker places, but I figured, you know what, it's clouds, it doesn't matter, and you can kind of see the different shades and how that paper stands out more now that we've inked it. So thanks again for joining me today. Happy scrapping, and we will see you all again soon. Bye for now.